Hello everybody, once again. John here with lovely Singapore on the background, East Coast by the Bay and downtown on the background. I remember this one gentleman who was a gentleman with Parkinson's disease. And this gentleman would be very difficult to engage, very refusal of care. I could actually hear his shoutings from like 4 or 5 floors up. So this was how vocal he was when receiving care, because he was refusing care basically. So this case was a big challenge, because we had to really put our thinking caps on and really come around, because there was so many things going on in there that we really had to have a very advanced care planning to be able to come around. So this gentleman with a story of Parkinsonism, with a history of falls, with a history of very low motivation and an underlying depression. So there was a lot of issues that we had to address in order to get this person around. So the first of all was the trust. So people, if they don't trust us, they will not accept our care, because our care is a form of help. If we don't trust the person, if we don't believe the person, if we have no confidence on the person, we will not accept the person's help. So us as caregivers, the first thing we need to achieve is the person's trust. For that, we have to have a very smooth approach using what we call the preliminaries. So we have a relational procedure called sensory capture, which contains 5 stages. And one of the stages is the preliminaries, when we approach the person from the front, face to face, eye to eye. We adjust our level of the gaze so that we become as horizontal as possible and as near as possible. We introduce the speech by saying who we are, what's our connection with the person, and give a free act. So something like, hi, my name is John, I'm your caregiver, I'm here to help you, and I came here to see how you're doing, how was the night, it's a good day outside, how about we get up, how about we get ready. So this is something that we can introduce within 3 seconds of our gaze. So we approach face to face, we adjust our gaze, we introduce our speech, and we introduce our touch. We introduce our touch ideally showing a clear intention of a handshake from up down, not down up. So really within the visual field of the person and going down to reach out the hand. If the person has the reaction of bringing the hand up, it's a good sign. This is a relational consent. If the person doesn't do that, we introduce the touch on a neutral area like the hand, the forearm, the arm, and then we try to see what's the emotional response to that touch. What we are trying to achieve in this stage is the relational consent. Can I be there with the person? Does the person let me be there? So we're looking for facial expressions, for muscle tone, for verbal consent. And if the person is okay with our presence, now we can start discussing care. Until then, we should not mention any intervention, any idea, any proposal, because this is not yet ready. The person does not trust us enough to accept care just yet. So if you at least try to do the preliminaries, face-to-face approach, adjust your gaze, introduce your speech, do not mention care, introduce yourself, give a free act, introduce your touch, offer your hand, and introduce the touch in a neutral, socially accepted area, and assess for positive emotional responses like a positive face expression, positive tone, a positive word, relaxed muscle tone. Okay, we got relational consent. Now we can start talking about care. So now that we got the trust of this gentleman, we need to start negotiating. And if the person has a history of fall and a complex health case, we see sometimes people lack the will to care for themselves because they don't have hope, they don't see a point. Why? Is this life worth living like this? So sometimes we need to be the ones providing this hope, providing this positive idea that life is worth living. So for this gentleman, we would have to be very gentle with our words, with our hands, with our eyes, and give him a lot of positive reinforcement that he's a man, that he can do it, that he has the life, he has the will, he has a family that needs him, there's a life to live. So this was really a crucial thing, and this is what we call free acts. it's acts of kindness to boost up the motivation and the self-confidence of the person. At the same time, there was a history of falls and a learned fear of falls. So the person was very afraid of getting out of a stable surface. So we have to use really, really good transferring techniques that we call the relational handling. On this particular patient, we would have to sit him using the bed. It was an electrical bed. We sit him up using the bed, and then we rotate very gently with a towel around the upper body of the person, not to engage with a lot of pressure, with a lot of effort, a lot of strength. And obviously, we had to put the feet on the floor, slide the person forward so that the feet reach on the floor, and we would raise the whole bed as a whole, so that this lifts the person to a height where the person to get up just needs a little hop. And people don't get up, people get forward. So the towel there would help the person to lean forward to create this vascular, momentum to stand up. After getting the person to stand up, we'd have to give him a couple of seconds for him to ground, for him to realize that he's on the floor, that he's standing up, and that he's not shifting his balance, he's not falling. He can trust us. And now that we got this, and this would take just a few seconds, we can actually rotate and sit down on the chair that he's going to. We had to do this progressively, quite progressively. And the first day we managed to get him up, but the second day he was already a bit more relaxed and things came out more naturally. So we wouldn't have to be so attentive and so delicate, because he was already aware of what was about to happen and that he could trust us. And this build-up gained momentum for us to be able to provide him a shower, something that he had never had on that admission. Again, these cases can be so challenging, so amazing, but so rewarding at the same time, because if we have the right tools, if we have the right techniques, we get the person to cooperate with us, to do what we request, and in the end to offer us the kindness that they have, the love that they have, through the smiles, the compliments, to the thank yous that we keep on receiving at the end of the care. So Humanitude is a very robust methodology of care. Nothing here is a miracle. Nothing here is something that is out of magic. It's about a professional approach, good assessment, good evaluation, using the right technique with the right person, and prescribing this technique so that the person actually receives the same care from everybody that approaches. We know how difficult it is to be a caregiver, in particular in the community context as a family. So we're doing these videos to give you some hints, some ideas, some techniques for you to be able to use them to your best ability. There's more information on Humanitude out there. The organizers of the event can actually support you and reference you. So if you feel that you need more help, please do not hesitate in getting in touch with someone, because it is a very straining job and very frustrating job to care for someone that we cannot engage, cannot understand, and we don't have the tools to help. And it's not fair for anyone to live on those conditions. So I hope these videos were helpful to you, and I'll see you soon.